Okay, so let's dive into something pretty fascinating. A document that literally speaks for you when you can't. In this explainer, we're going to pull apart the last will and testament of a woman named Jane Doe, piece by piece, to see exactly how it ticks.
So how does a simple piece of paper manage to do that? How can it speak for you? Well, that's exactly what a will is for. By digging into Jane Doe's, we're going to see the nuts and bolts, the legal machinery that takes her personal wishes and turns them into rock-solid instructions. No guesswork allowed.
All right, so first things first. Where does a will even begin? Well, it has to set the stage, right? It starts by declaring its own power and then points to the one person who's going to be in charge of everything. And boom, right out of the gate, we get this really powerful opening. It's super simple, but does two crucial things. First, it says, hey, this is the official will of Jane Doe. And second, and this part is so important, it says, I revoke all former wills. Basically, it's wiping the slate clean. This one sentence is a legal powerhouse that prevents a ton of confusion and headaches later on. By making it clear, this document is the final word. Okay, so right away, the will introduces the star of the show, the trustee. You can think of the trustee as the captain of the ship, or maybe the director of a play. This is the person legally responsible for making sure everything in the will actually happens. They have to manage all of Jane's stuff and follow her instructions to the letter.
And this is just brilliant planning on Jane's part. She names her son-in-law, Peter, as her first choice. But what if Peter can't do it for some reason? No problem. She's got a backup, her daughter Anna. This creates a super clear chain of command. It's like having a plan B already baked in, so there's never a moment when someone isn't in charge.
You know, it's easy to think a will is just about money and property, but it's so much more than that. This next part is where things get really personal. This is where Jane outlines her final wishes, the things that have absolutely nothing to do with dollars and cents.
And she is incredibly specific. She wants her organs donated for transplantation or research, she wants to be cremated, and she wants her ashes buried right next to her husband. See? This is where the will becomes a reflection of who she was. It's capturing her values, her final requests, things that are truly priceless.
But check this out. There's this one little detail that I think is fascinating. It's not just what she wants done, but how she wants it done. She specifically says to make the arrangements as inexpensively as possible. That one little phrase tells you so much about her, right? It gives you a little peek into her practical personality. A will can really be a fingerprint of who you were.
Okay, so with those really personal instructions taken care of, the will shifts gears to what most people think of when they hear the word will, dividing up the property. This is the part that lays out exactly where all of Jane's stuff is going to go.
But hold on, before a single penny or family heirloom gets handed out, the trustee has a very important to-do list. They have to pay off all of Jane's debts, cover the funeral expenses, and settle up any taxes. It's only after all the bills are paid that the beneficiaries get their inheritance. It's business before pleasure, legally speaking.
All right, once the estate's finances are all squared away, we get to the specific gifts. And notice how clear this is. There's no ambiguity. The car goes to her son John. The bank accounts and mineral rights split right down the middle, 50-50 between John and Anna. This kind of crystal clear instruction is exactly what you want in a will. It's designed to shut down any potential arguments before they can even start.
Okay, that's all pretty straightforward, but it brings up a really important question, doesn't it? What about everything else? You know, the furniture, the books, the artwork, the random investments she didn't list by name. A good will has to have an answer for this. Otherwise, you end up with stuff stuck in a kind of legal limbo.
And the answer is a brilliant legal concept called the residue of the estate. The easiest way to think about it is like this. It's everything that's left over after all the debts are paid and all those specific gifts have been handed out. It's the ultimate catch-all clause that makes sure not a single thing is forgotten.
So what does Jane do with her residue? Again, it's super simple and super smart. Scenario A, if her daughter Anna is still alive, Anna gets everything that's left. But what if Anna has passed away? Well, that's scenario B. Everything goes to her son John. The simple if-then logic is bulletproof. It completely eliminates any debate about who gets the rest.
So a will doesn't just say what to do, it has to explain how to do it. That means giving the trustee the actual power to get things done. This next part is basically the trustee's rulebook. It lays out all the powers and permissions they have to manage the estate.
And these powers are pretty broad. The will gives the trustee the freedom to make some important judgment calls. They can sell property if they think it's the right time, or they can hold on to an investment if it's doing well. Essentially, Jane is trusting her trustee to be flexible, to react to whatever the situation is, and to make the smartest financial decisions for her estate. It's about empowerment, not just instructions. Now, here's another really clever piece of legal foresight. It's something called a survivorship clause, and it's designed to handle a very specific and admittedly tragic scenario.
That 30-day window, that's the key. Let me walk you through why it's so important. Imagine a terrible situation where Jane and her daughter Anna are in an accident together. Jane passes away instantly, and Anna passes away just a couple of days later. Without this clause, for those 2 days, Anna technically inherited everything from Jane. That means Jane's assets would become part of Anna's estate and then be distributed according to Anna's will, which might not be what Jane wanted at all. This 30-day rule acts as a buffer. It says you have to survive me by a month to inherit, and that keeps everything following Jane's original plan. It's a simple fix for a really complex problem.
All right, we've gone through all the wishes, the instructions, the powers, but none of it means anything until it's made legally binding. So we've arrived at the final act. This is the moment a piece of paper with a bunch of words transforms into a powerful legal order.
And it all comes down to this, the signing ceremony. It's a very specific ritual. On April 16, 2010, Jane Doe signs her name. But she's not alone. 2 witnesses, Jack and Mary Watson, are right there. They watch her sign, and then they sign it too, right then and there. This 3-person simultaneous act is what breathes legal life into the entire document. It's the seal of approval.
So when you look at the whole thing, Jane Doe's will is so much more than just a legal document, right? It's her final conversation with the world. It's this incredibly well-built machine made of logic, personal values, and smart planning, all designed to make sure her wishes are carried out perfectly. It really is the ultimate proof of how you can make your voice heard long after you're gone. And it makes you think, a will is a final conversation. What will yours say?